Welcome to episode 174 of the Twim Show. This is your host Sajid, and today I'm going over the notable news and updates from the digital marketing space from the week of August 14 through 18, 2023. Okay. First off, somewhat of an announcement, or it is an announcement where Google Ads is sunsetting enhanced CPC shopping campaigns. Now, from their announcement, what I found out was that enhanced CPC campaigns for shopping has was launched about 10 years ago. So that's 2013, and obviously there has been a lot of improvements and a lot of changes, and Google is trying to push everyone into the fully automated space. So there is performance max, maximize conversion value, target ROAS, which is return on ad spend, things like that. So obviously enhanced CPC does not really play well in that, in this 2023 scheme. So with that says, if you have an enhanced CPC campaign, what's going to happen is that your campaigns are going to, it's no longer going to be enhanced CPC starting October of this year, which is, this is August, mid-August. So that would be like half a month, September, October. So you have roughly 2 months to before you, either you switch to one of the newer campaign types, or, it drops down to regular cost per click campaigns. Okay, so that's about it. Make sure you are aware and you are making changes effectively. I'm pretty sure Google has done their studies and they realize the percentage of ad campaigns that are running enhanced CPC is much lower than what it was probably 5 years ago. And obviously Google wants everybody to start using the latest and the greatest, and obviously fully automated, where Google has more more control, and obviously it does get you some results. With that, let's move on to the next one. Okay, the other thing Google Ads is doing is they are apparently testing small advertisers premium support. Now this, I'm not sure if this is true or not, because I read it on Search Engine Journal. I have not been able to find an official announcement, but at the same time, this is a very interesting, because up until now, the high touch support was kind of kept around for Google Ads customer who had a large advertising budget, right? And of course, we used to get this Google's, premium support from Google Ads people, which turned out to be really crap. I've done a couple of videos on this. So it will be interesting to see how this all plays out, especially for a fee. And I'm not sure if anyone will take the bait. I'm pretty sure there will be a lot of people who are going to take the bait, just because they're going to say, oh, this is Google calling me up and this is Google support. I want to buy it. Why do I want to go trust someone outside who's not a Google employee? Now, Google is probably going to outsource this support. There are pros and cons for each and every, I could say, for the program, against the program. But in my opinion, I've not had good, results from Google's support, just because support is just a very little thing. What you need is someone to understand your business, understand your product, take the time to write the product descriptions, the Google Ads, the landing page, and all sorts of things. There's a lot more to just Google Ads support, which is like pulling the lever, clicking the button, and turning on the switch. So that's where I will leave it. I just wanted to cover this for you, so that you kind of know and keep it in the back of your head in case you are looking forward to something like this. In my opinion, if you ask me, I am still on the fence. I do not know if I would ever support this kind of program or not, unless I try it out or I see the full details. Until that day, let's move on to the next update. Now, Google has made some changes in their Google business profile, where now it's easier for you to put your social media links, up to 15, I believe, so that your customers can find you easier on other social media platforms, which I think is great. So for example, I would up until now, I would go to find a business, and to find the social media link, I have to go to the web page, find the link, and click on that and go to that. So Google is just making it easier. So make sure you take advantage of it if you have other social media links. Okay, Here's an interesting topic which has been covered quite a bit in the past and it's coming up again and again. So I figured I have to also cover it since it came up. The question was, does your domain name make or break your SEO? What that means is someone was asking John Mueller, hey, if I have a dash in my domain name, will that make or break my SEO? And John is saying, guys, that doesn't matter. A dash is a very little thing for you to worry about. Just basically what you need to do is pick a domain name for your brand for the long run. Don't just collect keywords. Then the other thing is don't use commas, spaces, colons in your URL, which is kind of goes without saying, because if you're using spaces, it translates to %20. I think that's the HTML code. So it just like makes it very hard for people to remember and read and understand. So the last thing is, John is saying, look, domain name is never going to make or break your SEO. What it does is the quality of content. And stay on the show for the last update, which I believe is talking about this as well, or the second to last. I just don't remember anymore which one was it. Okay. This is an interesting question that came up to John Mueller was, hey, I see in a SERP, which is search engine results page, sometimes you will see site links from a site, right? Here are the different site links. And I see in the SERP page, in the site links, the search engine results page, I see site links, and I see Google is arbitrarily choosing a link to a page that is of low value when there are other better pages that Google should link. So in that case, can I change that results page in such a way, which is so that, that page with the low value or the page with the low value should not show up in the site link, right? Instead, something else shows up. And can I use no index for it? So that's the main gist of this, right? Which is, I'm saying in the results page, I see site link, which is great. However, there is one link that I don't think should be there because it's of a low value page. It doesn't really do much. I would rather have something more higher value show up in that page. And to manipulate that result, can I no index that page that shows up so that Google honors my request and then it drops off and then some other page goes back up? To that, John Mueller says, yeah, absolutely. We will honor that no index because by rule, we are supposed to, we have to honor that request. However, that doesn't, and we will remove it from our index. But that doesn't mean something else is going to go in back there automatically, because indexing is very different from ranking. You need to get indexed first. That's important. Second off, if you have content that is worthy of getting ranked, right? If you have good quality content, then obviously we will rank it and then it's going to show up. But there are some, obviously, what will I say? There are some rule of thumbs, or there's some, things you can do, and that's in the Google's documentation. It's in the show notes page, but I'll quickly go over them. Number one is that make sure the text you use as your page titles and your headings. Why am I saying headlinks? Headings is informative, relevant, and compact. Create a logical site structure that is easy for users to navigate. Make sure you link to your important pages from your relevant pages. Ensure that your internal links, anchor text is concise and relevant to the page you're pointing to. And last one, the fourth one is avoid repetitions in your content. Now, you could say, that was a lot, right? I do not know what to do. Why would I want to manipulate if something is showing up on my SERP page, site links? Then my thing is, you are not there yet, and I wouldn't worry about it. But, usually if your site shows up on your search engine results page and you have a very, highly profitable product, right? And you want people to see that and maybe they will click on it and they will buy more of that. You want that. You want to manipulate that. Now, it's easy for you to no index a page, right? Then to get a page indexed and ranked. So that's what you need to walk away with is, and SEO is never something like, you do it once, you're done with it, or if I push this button, the answer is going to happen on the other end. It's never guaranteed. It's going to take some time. Okay. It's going to take some time. It's going to take some playing around. It's going to take some, experimentation, and then only you will get the results. Okay. Next, let's, this is an interesting thing. There's a question was in the August 2023 office hour was, hey, Google, why is my site not ranking? Right? I have done, despite I have low competition, good SEO, I have a sitemap, I have index page, I have updated content, I have backlinks, and I have on-page optimization. Doesn't it sounds like I kind of made it up, but I have not, right? Despite having all these things, my site is still not in the top 200 results for my keyword. Now, before I jump into what Google's John Mueller said, I want to point out good over here is very subjective, right? What this person says is good may not be good to someone else, right? I mean, how do you measure good, right? What does he mean by good, right? Good according to whom? So that's one thing, and we all think we're good and we're competent until a failure makes us realize there is a knowledge gap somewhere, right? So it is very difficult to be aware of. You do not know what you do not know. I do not know what I do not know. So good might be very different things. So let's take that with let's not take it seriously, but let's just say he has done all of his work. Then John Mueller responded, look, he says he sees these questions quite often. And he says, yeah, we understand Google tends to focus on various technical aspects, like with technical SEO, when it comes to SEO, like, load speed, optimization, sitemap, structured data, all these other things. And I have covered this myself a lot on our show. Having said that, Mueller did not directly answer this question, but what he said, which is John Mueller, John is the same thing, is like saying, look, when it comes to book, does a good cover photo, a reasonable sentence length, few misspellings, and a good topic mean that a book will become a bestseller? Let that sink in a little bit. Or the other example or a restaurant that uses the right ingredient, cooks in a clean kitchen, means it will get a lot of customers. And that's where he stops. Right. And the last thing he says is technical details are good to cover well, but there's more involved in being successful. What does that mean? Folks, let me explain to you if you haven't gotten to the point. Just because you have done all the right things does not mean you will rank. For a restaurant to have a lot of customers and to see a lot of success, it needs to not only have the right ingredients, clean kitchen, fancy decorations, it also needs good food, great food, and amazing customer service. Right or wrong? Similarly, just because you have done, and this is my opinion, but I think this is what John Mueller is saying, is just because you have done all the right things, have your sitemap, have a low competition keyword, you have indexed your page, you have updated content, you have backlinks, you have on-page optimization, does not mean anything unless you have good, helpful content. Now, if you have been following my show for some time, I've always talked about helpful content that will answer the searcher's question. Do not write content for the search engines. Write content thinking, what will that person ask, or what has my other prospects asked me, and let me ask them. Or be authoritative and say, here's what you need to know. Okay, that's where EAT comes in: expertise, authority, authority, and trust. Right. Okay. I hope that helps. With that, let's jump into the next update of this week, and that is probably the last. It is the last update of this week. Google came out and clarified we do not use third-party SEO tool scores. Right, and it makes sense. Now, John Mueller is saying, look, yeah, there is some merit to using third-party scores, and that will really help, because what they have done is over the years they have taken our advices and recommendations and put this into this machine where you don't have to think of all of them one by one in your head and track them down. They're gonna take all these factors and they're gonna spit out a score, and that tells you where you should focus and what should not focus on, which is good. And I agree with John. Right. However, that does not mean just because you have 100 on some score, some tool out there, does not mean that you are going to be ranking higher. Okay, because Google doesn't work like that way. Google has their own algorithm. Google has their own rating formula, things like that. Now, anyone who says they can crack Google, you should probably stay away from them. However, if you think I am full of BS and I do not know what I'm talking about, then you should try them out. Because you know what? No one can guarantee except for Google themselves. Because they are the only one, and Google's ranking system is a closely guarded secret. Just like me claiming to you that I have Coca-Cola's secret recipe and I can make you I can help you make the next Coca-Cola. You will be like, you are crazy, Sajid. You do not know. Nobody knows it because the Coca-Cola recipe is locked in a vault in somewhere in Atlanta, downtown. Same way, no one knows what Google's actual rankings are. People have experimented with this, says, hey, if I did this, I've seen this thing, but that could be for a variety of factors that we do not know that are happening. But we know we have made some assumptions, wild guesses, wild ankle guesses, and we've said, this is what it works. I think to me, yes, backlinks may not play a role. Obviously other things we know makes a role, which is like load speed, friendliness, easy to find content. But I think what it all matters down to is, and I'm repeating myself for the third or the fourth time on this show, is that the quality of the content. If the quality is good, I think we will get ranked. So if I wasn't getting ranked, then I just have to say, you know what, I need to have better quality. That's it. And no, not keyword stuffing. Better quality content that answers people's questions. Okay, folks, with that, that's it for this week in marketing. Hope you enjoyed the show and hope you find it valuable. Until next week, take care. Bye-bye.